So this is a guide to the 2020 RuneScape Christmas event. So you're going to start this off by going to Falador. You're going to go just north of Falador here where it starts to get icy. You can get here by either a Falador teleport or walking from Lumbridge if you're a newer player. So first off we're going to talk to Scrubfoot. I'm going to skip through the dialogue, and this will be on the mobile. And he's going to talk about a secret mission, and of course he's going to give it all away because that's a typical RuneScape scenario. We're just going to skip through the dialogue, and they're going to talk about stealing Christmas. We're going to talk about stealing Christmas from the humans. So we're going to say we're going to stop that. We're not going to let them ruin Christmas. And we're going to skip through the dialogue again. And for those worrying about time constraints, this won't take longer than 5 minutes, especially with the guide. The longest part of this is literally taking the sled, which you will also obtain during the quest, which is very cool. So first off, you're going to run north to the Goblin Village, not Barbarian Village. Just going to follow this path. It has been a while since I've played on the mobile, so I may make a few mistakes. The first thing we're going to notice up here, there's this new goblin head, and also there's a red dot there for a drop. We're going to need that in just a moment. But first off, let's speak to the generals. Let's talk about Christmas. So if you've done any other quests, you'll still be able to see things just as they are normally. We're not going to let them go to war. We're going to skip through this dialogue. We heard they're trying to take Christmas. And of course they're going to argue again about the colour, red or green. So we're going to skip through this quickly. And we're going to say, if you know Christmas so well, etc. Fighting and pillaging or whatever. What's your favourite thing about Christmas? Skip through this. And then we're going to say, do you know anything about Christmas? Or you don't know anything about Christmas. Awesome. And want to ask about all of these options. And if you're unsure at any point, just go back to these goblins and talk to them, and you'll progress onto the next part or to finish the quest. You will need to obviously speak to them upon doing your certain bits to actually finish the quest. So you're going to now talk about the tree. You should get rid of the option that's just gone past. So let's skip through this dialogue again. Decorations. What food they like. Eyes with cream, very funny, Jagex. And lastly, trees and gifts, if we didn't do it already. Let's skip through this nice and quick. A lot of dialogue. They obviously want you to, so we can get away from that now, either say goodbye, etc. So next, I want to go to this chest over here. This is the first thing you want to do. You want to press on the chest. Now let's see what Christmas items goblins like. You want to choose things that seem quite vulgar or quite, goblin-like. So we're going to go for the meat first. Where the Bandos body plate is actually a goblin thing, let's pick the knife. No, then it probably was the Bandos body. I'm an idiot. Let's pick the hammer. And here we want to pick the goblin statue, which we'll find out about in just a moment. That's enough presents. So we've got enough presents now. Let's go head east. And for this next bit, obviously, a bit of run energy would be nice. Bringing some a stamina pot or two would also be quite helpful. However, I did not bring any of those. So there's a lot of people in the area asking what to do. So this is why this video has been created. So you want to quickly not chop down the evergreen. Oh, my phone's broken, so hold on one moment. I'm going to flip the screen, take the stick. You don't have to inspect it, you can use the stick straight on it. Yes, roll it into the Goblin City. and it will basically just miss as a goblin, as it says in the dialogue. You can run down, so that's 2 parts out of the 5, I believe. So let's run back down. And I'm going to leave the longest one till last, which is the sledding. That can take a little while to do. So let's continue going. And then we want to go into this little building. For those who have done Recipe for Disaster, you'll recognise this. It doesn't make a difference if you have or haven't, it will just look slightly different. So if you've done Recipe for Disaster, it will look something like this. You're going to want to search all of these cupboards. So one is going to be a broken cupboard if you've done Recipe for Disaster. It's in the same spots if you haven't. So you want to go for a sack, a broken cupboard, and one that's relatively repaired. So once you've got all 3 ingredients, where's the last one? I assume it should be this. There we go. So since you've got all 3 ingredients, it will just be these 3. You just inspect the cauldron, and it should just put all of the food in for you and make the stew. This requires no cooking oil, as of most of these these Christmas events, etc. So now we've got 3 stuff done. Now we want to go to this little cave, and we want to make sure we go here to the north, pick up a sled. Now we can ride the sled straight away, and let's go down this slope. Now I'm not entirely sure yet if this is dangerous, rather not risk it. And we just want to make our way on this icy path. So these bits here with the pebbles, they tend to slow you down. Anything else will make you go a bit quicker. There is a bit that looks kind of like an eye, and in that bit it's a lot slower to go through the path that looks kind of like this. So without the stones, it's much faster to go through the stones. So not this bit, so this is the first eye looking thing, or the, I don't know, the circular looking thing. I really don't recommend trying to potentially go off. I don't know if you will deal damage or anything, and of course if you're a pure you may die, or if you have lower health. So just follow the path. It does take a little while, and this is the path I'm talking about here, where it's either a straight or the path on the right. If you take the path on the right, you'll zigzag constantly, as you can see there. The little squares, you'll zigzag constantly. It'll take you a long while to get there. So it's much quicker just to go along here. Go on the far left, and then you can just go across. So this is much quicker, and then we want to go up here. Keep following it along until we get to that little ramp down there that we can see. So this is in fact the longer part. Follow this along. There's where we need to be. That's where we're going to find our fireflies, which are the acting decorations for the goblins. So let's make our way across, and let's use the little ramp to get to our final bit. We'll also see Grubfoot, who's obviously crashed. Spoiler alert. And he's on the wall just there. Looks kind of funny. Obviously couldn't handle it. And we want to pick some of these red flies. Now I'm not entirely sure how many. Better to be safe than sorry. And go through all of that again. So let's pick about 4 of each. For those reading that PM, I'm actually mostly on my Iron Man at the moment. I'm just doing this because I did it on my Iron Man first. So let's go catch the green flies, and now we can exit here. You can speak to Grubfoot, it's got some funny dialogue, as Jagged usually tends to. And we want to exit this cave. This should be almost everything, if not everything. So speak to any of the 2 goblin generals, not close the door, talk about Christmas. And we have all 4, so let's quickly chat. And because you've bought both, they're happy, and that's it. Skip for the dialogue, they'll take it out of your inventory. Let's talk about the gifts. We've got the gift bag, doesn't take very long to acquire. Awesome. And now let's take I've already done the decorations. Let's talk about the food, and we'll give them the stew. And the last thing is talking about the tree, and you should get a full inventory of 2 of each of the event stuff, along with the goblin boulder that you'll see everyone holding. Glad to help. 3, 2, 1. Or not. There we go. So these are the things you get. And you'll also get a lot of stuff that came before the event if you haven't already. So this bad boy you can equip. It's massive. It looks pretty ugly. You've also got this unique here, which is the goblin decorations. And there hasn't obviously been too much that's been talked about it yet. But you can use this in your house or on the portal, I believe. I'm not entirely sure yet. And it should be able, to decorate your house in Christmas decorations. So yeah, that's my guide. Hope it helps, and good luck, guys. Have fun. Merry Christmas.